Last time on Constant Chronicle Chaos Egg. After stealing a boat and a baby, the Chaos crew sailed to the Isle of Reyes and docked at the town of Pleasureot, where they drank and rested before being discovered the next day by a friend of the former captain of this stolen boat. So they fled west and destroyed their ship and swam to shore, where they burnt down a shack. And now, Constant Chronicle Chaos Egg continues.
Now you guys are standing in a burning cabin, which is slowly filling with smoke.
Some fantasy band of brothers on this shit. Are there windows?
They're not made of glass, but there's, holes in the side of the building, window shaped.
There's a fucking door that we walked in.
Yeah, there's ways to get in and out. It's a pretty primitive cabin, but you can leave through any of the various holes in the walls. Or ceiling, there's a hole in the ceiling too. You can fly out, you're an imp.
Oh, I'd book it. She's, good, so I assume you can get out on your own means.
I feel like everyone has legs. Everyone can leave if they want.
Yeah, I assume we all fuck off.
No, I'm going to do a perception check on the inside of the cabin to see if there's any way I can put out this fire. Is there any linens that I can use to smother it? A 20, but it's not natural.
Everything in here seems to be cleaned out. It's just the wood remains. Even the knobs have been taken off the cabinets. There's a bed frame that remains, made of metal, but everything has been taken off of it as well. And the interior is full of, detritus and leaves and stuff, so it won't take long for it to catch on fire.
I have turned around during this whole thing, and after we came through the bomb, I started walking off, thinking there was just going to be a movie moment, explosion. I'm just kind of standing about 20 feet of the road, from the road, just kind of looking
watching.
Back, what the fuck is going on right now?
You're standing there like that Fire Girl meme, right? Everyone else can also walk towards the road or fly, if that's what everyone's doing.
I look flustered because I can't help to put it out. I'm gonna walk into the fire and sit down and meditate.
So you stay in the hut while it burns down and just sit in the fire and meditate.
Yeah.
Sounds like a great time to talk to Dudicon. So while everyone else stands near the road or in the tall grass and watches this place burn down, you guys can hide. If you want to roll a stealth to actually make sure you're stealthing, that's fine too. Unless you go on the road. If you're in the road, it's hard to stealth in the road. If you stay in the tall grass, you can stealth.
Like I said, 20 feet away from the road.
There's just going to be a whole lot of traffic. It's dark, it's nighttime. It doesn't seem like a lot of people come out here.
I'm the monk and on the first Rage Against the Machine album right now.
So yeah, you're immolating in this hut. You get to talk to Dudicon. Now would be a good time for you to ask your 6 questions of Dudicon. You get to do once a week. So while you're here meditating, communing, do you have any questions of your demon lord?
What do you want from me, sir?
Kill Eve 6.
Is Eve 6 alive?
Yes, that's 2 questions.
Can I roll a knowledge, religion or perception to see that he's communing with some higher being?
I mean, it's just meditating in fire, but you could maybe roll knowledge religion to pick up something's going on. The fact that the imp stayed in a fire building.
I got a 12.
I mean, you might notice that Bernie's not with you guys, but I don't know if you're going to pick up any sort of meaning behind it. You got 4 more questions left, Bernie.
If I do that, will that make me more powerful?
Diplomacy.
16.
Yes, you're promised more power if you accomplish this.
Where is the best place for me to leave the group?
South.
Where would you like us to end up, my demon lord?
South.
Okay. Have I done good for you so far?
Good enough.
Okay.
And then you can, wait for the fire to all burn down to ash and rejoin your mates if you want. They've all sat in the grass and watched this place burn down too. Say it took a good 3 hours at least, where it's reduced to nothing. It wasn't a very big shack, but 3 hours later, you guys have a smoldering pit of ash there. You're all still hiding in the tall grass. You don't seem to have drawn any attention to yourself. No one has come down the road. You still see the city in the distance, but no other sign of life, at least in this area, besides animal life, of course, that you hear. Although a lot of it fled when the cabin was on fire.
I become visible with the glowing flame.
That was crazy. You don't see the house just burned down? Holy shit.
I was in the house. It was
Was it good for you?
It was.
The fire was the closest he's gotten to home, Tim.
Alright, so what's the next plan, guys? You want to make camp near this smoldering pile, or head into the woods?
Into the woods.
I think we should head a little bit into the woods, and then maybe we should think about going south.
South into the water?
Just a little bit south. Follow the coastline.
What he's saying is it's physically impossible for us to head south right now. So
The only thing south is the coastline.
we can do up, left, or right.
Up north is the forest, left is more coastline, and to the right is the city that you came from.
Geography to see what's south of us? Yeah, that's 7.
And now without a map, you wouldn't be totally sure. You have an idea of, of the world, so you could probably guess, but you wouldn't know 100% exactly what's due south.
I wouldn't know, what, a continent nearby? or to the south of us.
Linya?
I should just start crossing the road into the forest.
Nim Nim wanders off.
I'm not that far away. I'm like looking back at them.
He's walking that way.
Please sweep the floor, do it again.
He's like whistling as he walks and trying to get you guys' attention.
Yeah,
I'm doing a little bit of hunting to see if I can get food for us.
There's hunting here in the tall grass. There's probably even better hunting in the forest.
I'll follow him into the forest.
I'm gonna look over at Kay now that we've got in the trees and be like, hey, you were one of these motherfuckers recently.
I'm gonna say that was pretty fucking cool, wasn't it? You see that fire? I did that.
I mean, the fire was cool, but you were a tree recently. I was getting at.
And I like poke a tree next to me and be like, "What's up, bro?"
Seems like a friendly tree.
So what's our real plan?
Yeah, we're starving, so...
Okay, so
And also, before it was a lot about feeding the baby, which is no longer a problem, at least. But you do need to feed yourselves, yes.
that would be what, a survival check?
Look for scat, look for tracks, find a watering hole.
Yeah, I'm
Whatever else.
gonna do a challenge local to try to find some, like, water or a creek or something, the stream.
I got a 19.
A 19 as well.
I got a 13, I didn't do so hot.
I got a 8 on perception to find game trails.
No game trails, but you do spot spiders' nests and 6 giant spiders. Meat's not delicious, but it is edible. And you've got to cross through their territory before you get further into the forest to find any other game. So anyone that rolled high enough will probably spot them early enough to stop the rest of that group from crossing into that territory. You can spot them at a safe enough distance so you haven't set off an initiative or anything. It's good you spotted them before they spotted you because they would probably hunt you and try to trap you, things like that. So you guys have the advantage currently. You don't want to lose it.
Does this sound like we have to go through it anyways?
If you want to get deeper into the forest, yes, unless you want to leave the forest and like walk around and come in a different way.
Are there spider webs?
Yeah, that's probably how you spotted their their territories. You noticed the webbing of the trees.
Recommend to our alchemist or anyone else that's able to cast any kind of fire spell, set those webs on fire, burn the spiders up, and then the meat's already cooked. We're ready to rock.
Well, Kay's gonna say fuck it, but we need food and we need to get through here. So,
Well, we can go a different route if you guys don't want to go through there. We can follow the road down a little way, away from the town, perhaps.
I say fuck it. Start a fire. I'm saying let's plow through, and if needs be,
Fire as a last resort.
start 'em. Yes.
If anyone wants to start a fire, I'm not opposed to it.
That's what you're
If the
saying.
spiders are up in the trees, then and the webs aren't all the way down to the ground, maybe we can stealth our way through the forest.
I'm gonna turn into a giant spider and just like kind of vibe while everybody figures out what they're gonna do.
I
Like-
want to touch like a nearest tree and ask it where the spider colonies are.
I mean, they don't have eyes or anything like that, but they do feel vibrations, and so they can tell you up and nearby. And if you were touching a tree, they can warn you if one comes really close. But until it comes close enough, they can't warn you. Right now, they're not close enough to be in danger to you guys. You guys spotted their territory before they spotted you, but the tree you're touching can warn you if they come close, as long as your hand's on this tree.
Send Bernie up there in his spider form to talk to them. I would assume he speaks spider.
In spider form, that's all he can speak.
Yeah. So maybe we should let him do that and see what happens. If that all goes awry, then I'd say you should have some bombs ready to start tossing.
I got Sylvan, so I will take the lead if you want a spider up there. And
Yeah.
I'll follow behind you.
I've creeped up behind a tree sort of towards it.
Yeah, if you want to roll a stealth check to go ahead and try to hide, you can go ahead and make note of that number, and that's how well you're hiding. And if I don't see you, I can't attack you, so that's always handy.
I'll go back into a spider form.
Climb up
and
a tree
I'll
with your
go
skinny legs.
See if I can talk to a medium level spider guard.
I don't know if spiders have a hierarchy like that, but you can walk up into spider territory and talk to a spider, nature or
Yeah,
local,
no.
to know how to identify a higher ranking spider. Otherwise, you can just talk to the first spider you encounter.
I will talk to the first spider I encounter and ask, how are you doing?
Hungry, you?
Hungry too. It's crazy how we're always hungry all the time, right?
Every day.
As spiders, that's nuts. Eternal curse. I feel it every day in my life. Where is Mama Spider? Again, so I can talk to her about this, because I'm trying to fix that problem.
Your mother. I do not know where your mother is.
I meant our mother.
Oh, ooh.
Are we related?
Of course, we are spiders. We are all related.
Bluff check.
Spiders are all the same.
I'm not sure I know you. Who's your mom?
I can't remember her either.
I don't know if I can help you, man. You seem... Are you from around here? You don't look familiar.
I mean, I'm new. I'm just trying to find a good spider job.
There's like 4 bluff checks going on.
Well, the first bluff check was a 19. 19 before I added anything
I rolled really low. I rolled a 3, so nothing I add on that's going to make it high enough. Out of the spiders, look, yeah, whatever, you're another spider. You still don't look familiar, but it's still trusting the fact that you're a spider and you're looking for your mom. Maybe even wants to help you, but doesn't know who your mom is or how to help you.
You know, our territory looks pretty good. How can we get through your territory?
You're a spider. Feel free to walk right through, friend.
Hey,
Spiders are welcome here. Did you come with your family? Is your mother with you?
I've never met my mother.
No wonder you're so lost.
How's it go? So,
I have mommy issues.
We control the edge of the forest here, catch any prey passing by. But like I said, you're welcome to pass through, spider friend.
I'm gonna head back to my other people.
Away from the spider thing, back down a tree, back to where everybody was. Is everybody stealthing? Was anybody not stealthing?
I mean,
I'd imagine.
I'm gonna use
Yeah,
that.
if you rolled stealth and now, because I'm just asking because Bernie's coming back and I just gotta find you guys. So Bernie has to roll perception to see if he sees you.
19.
Yeah, if you see me,
yeah, you see me too.
Oh, you're able to spot enough of your allies to find where they are. Even the ones that might be hiding better. You might not see them, but you can find the area they're in.
You don't see me.
Nim is out of your vision. But it sounds like you probably spot the rest of them.
alright, so what's the word from the spider folk? Are we gonna be able to find a way to get through here?
I can't tell you, man. They're complicated people.
Can't tell us if they will attack us if we pass by them? Or
Oh, they will attack the hell out of you.
Okay, that's what we're getting at here. Alright, so now we have to make a new game plan, guys. Either we follow the road to avoid a confrontation, or we start a fire. Their webs will burn.
What if
Did
we,
I hear fire?
What if we-
Fucking bomb.
okay, I put part of it, I guess. Still hiding.
I'm okay with just walking down the road to find something else instead of going through a potentially dangerous situation where we're definitely going to get ourselves noticed by other people if we start this fire.
The spider folk are good. I'd prefer not to harm them.
Well, I'm fine with walking.
Alright?
Okay.
So everyone's walking away,
No,
Kay. Do you
I
still
will
want to throw a
go
grenade
through
behind
this
you?
time. I will follow everyone.
And not light anything on fire? And don't commit another arson, and you walk back towards the road, towards the west, away from the
But
city.
I've got my flint and steel, and I'm flicking it as I walk.
Menacingly, the light
Yeah, it's
flashes
like-
off of
it's
Kay's
like
face.
Meditation to me.
Perception
Five.
check.
15.
16.
19.
6.
It's like only the imp will spot. The rest of you will keep moving, but the imp, you will spot shadows moving across the ground around you. So unless you say something, it won't matter, but there are shadows moving beneath your feet that don't match the motions of your party.
I will whisper that to everyone as quietly as I can. Look at your feet.
When it's dark, the only light out here is moonlight, so you're not lit by much, but the shadows are weird.
Just gonna detect magic.
You do.
Like, can I sense where it is, or is it everywhere?
It was beneath you, moving beneath you, and then it like moved away towards the forest. But for a second, your shadows were all like distorted and weird, and there was other shapes.
Knowledge Arcana on that.
I'm gonna Arcana too. That's a 10.
Mine was a 14.
14's high enough to know that it was umbral, shadow magic of some sort. You don't know what it was, but definitely the fact that it was shadows, shadow magic.
Knowledge local, whether or not this specific kind of magic it's only happening in this area.
Currently, yes. I mean, you would only be able to detect magic in your area, so that's all you would be able to know about anyway.
Should
Around here, it was just in that one small area for a moment.
Can I let the rest of my compatriots know that like this was a very special thing that we just saw, and maybe we should think more about that?
Sure.
I say exactly that.
I'll propose the idea of following the road through the woods.
The road does not go into the woods.
No, I understand that. Follow alongside the road.
I understand. You want to walk into the woods, but be like a distance away from the road, but in the brush.
We're not spider distance, but we're not in the road.
You can do that for a little while longer before the woods end.
Or we could just walk down the road and continuously take a 20 on perception to make sure we know if we hear the sound of a horse, cart, or feet marching
I
anywhere.
mean, so
towards
far
us.
you've seen no
Get
signs
off.
of human life, and even this path seems kind of overgrown, like people don't use it that often.
So I'd recommend staying on the road and us just keeping our wits about us and making sure that we don't need... We can jump off the road sooner or later, but if we hop into the woods, then we get back into spider territory.
I'm totally okay with that.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Maybe an hour and a half or so, 2 hours, reach a pit at the end of the road. The road sort of just ends at a big, deep, dark, cavernous pit. It's ominously dark and black. There is some sign of human activity around the edge of the pit in recent days, and maybe some signs of footprints going off different directions, but they're sort of like, brushed away in the wind at this point in time.
Roll a knowledge history on the pit. No, that's a 13.
Never heard of this pit before.
I'm gonna roll knowledge, Nate. It's a dirty 20.
The pit seems to be perfectly round at the top, which means it's probably not a natural... I mean, it could be. You don't see a whole lot of caverns with perfectly circular openings at the top. Almost like it's a very large well, even. More than just a cavern in the ground.
I'm gonna sneak up to the edge.
Yeah, you can do that. You roll stealth if you want to be really sneaky.
21, actually.
I rolled much lower than that. You can sneak up to the edge.
I'll do a perception check, see how deep it is, what the hell's going on. 18.
You get a negative vibe from this hole that also appears to be pitch black at the bottom, so you can't see how deep it really goes.
Can I see kind of what's around the rim, generally, if we try to pass by it?
You could go walk around it. It seems to be the same thing that's right here. Just flat earth and grass right up to the edge, and then just drops off. Other than like the area you guys are, it seems to be like some human buildup of dirt, like someone's dug holes here or moved things around. There's footprints, but other than that, it's just a flat ground around a hole.
How far away is the coast from us right now? Like, what's to our other side?
You'd have to get to the other side of the hole, so like 30, 40 feet. Right now, it's high tide, and maybe to like 90 feet to the shore. Pretty close to the water.
So yeah, we're on the coast.
I've got some rope. I kind of want to climb down and see what's down there.
Yeah, can we do a Arcana or a Detect Magic check? See if there's anything else going on around here?
Anyone with the ability to detect magic can and will.
How about Arcana?
Arcana would give you more knowledge.
Let's see. I'm gonna have
9.
11.
What if we send the rat down? I'm gonna.
What do you mean the rat? John will think.
Oh, yeah.
Is there a rat? A rat? Where's the rat? There's a rat?
I'm gonna talk to John's rat down in the hole.
Can we get Bernie to turn into a spider again and just let himself down there?
I could also fly down there.
Or fly down there, yeah.
Yeah, you is him.
Vision.
Oh, I already told the rat to go down there. What?
Well, you're not the boss of the rat, are you?
No, but I have a 21 just rolled a 21 animal handling, so...
You do speak rat language, so...
You take
Unless John wants to stop you.
John agree to it.
Can I roll perception to see if I see the rat, like, suicide mission?
I mean, you'll see Nim Nim whisper something in the rat's ear, and the rat start to head down the hole.
And I'll go... Can I go
So will
grab
John.
the rat?
So anyone wants to try and stop him can. Yeah, you can grab the rat by the tail if you want to try and see him beat it.
Animal handling would be a 9 plus nothing.
So yeah, it's still going to keep going. So you might want to CMD to try and grab it.
18.
But higher than the rat's CMD.
I'm just gonna yell at the rat in Sylvan to be like, watch your back.
So 17 is the number.
Yep,
And I rolled an 18.
you got it.
Alright, so you're able to just barely grab onto that rat.
I'd be like, hey, call it off. Let the imp fly down there. Come on, guys.
Yeah, come here, buddy. You did great.
Get out a treat. And Bernie, do you want to fly down the hole?
Yeah, no, I'll go down and constantly roll perception.
Yeah, supernatural darkness is all you see as you head down, and you get an ominous feeling the deeper you get into this pit.
Does it make me feel good inside?
No, it makes you feel unsettled, disquieted, uneasy. The deeper you go,
I'll keep on doing it.
you push onward, downward, trying to find the bottom. You feel like you go on for quite some time. Your friend's way at the top of the hole. It's been at least 30 minutes now.
Oh, shit.
As you wait, you finally sink to the bottom of this hole flying as fast as you can. You finally break through from this pure darkness where you see nothing into the Shadow Realm, where it's still perfectly dark, but shapes start to emerge. Meanwhile, at the top of the dark, dark hole, Eve the Sixth, Captain Nim Nim, and Case Machimin, and John, and his rat, who goes by many names and is not recognized as a rat, are waiting at the top of the hole. Bernie has been gone now for about half an hour. In this period of time, John, being the hobo that he is, and his rat have curled up next to the hole and started taking a nap. They look pretty comfy, and they're passed out pretty hard, even after 30 minutes. Poke them, they don't wake up. Middle of the night, it's dark. It's even darker down the hole.
Well, I've noticed that like John and the rat are like comatose, right?
Yeah, they're passed. They're probably been snoring, making noise. They're asleep. It's easy to tell they're asleep. They're curled up right next to the hole, like around the edge.
I'm going to go over to his rat because I'm more concerned about the rat. I'm going to try to wake it up, give it a command to wake up. Nothing.
It seems to be sleeping. It just nuzzles closer to John's chest when you try to wake it.
Okay.
Seems to be sleeping with John. It seems to be on the same schedule.
I look over at the rest of the party, I guess, and I'm like, what? Like, they're napping on the job, guys. What the fuck? What are we doing? What are we doing?
We can search his things, see if he has a blanket. Maybe we can wrap him and his rat up together so it would make it easier for us to transport them.
I mean, okay.
We don't have a way to transport them yet.
Are they like sick or something? What's going on?
I mean, this guy is obviously someone that's living on the street, and loud noises and people poking him. He's used to that kind of stuff.
So, are we worried about our friend that went down the hole? Do you guys want me to maybe send some lights down there and see if we can see what's going on? I'll cast dancing lights and
I think
3 balls of light. I'm going to send them down as far as I can.
They extinguish almost immediately.
Perfect. Good to know.
I will
You can knowledge arcana that if you want.
Yep, I'm going to knowledge arcana that.
I throw a rock down the hole.
The rock
Bernie.
almost immediately vanishes. You don't never hear it hit anything at the bottom.
Knowledge Arcana, I got a 21.
Definitely umbral magic, dark magic. I think something you might have
Alright.
already discerned this earlier, but yeah, umbral magic. That's definitely a false shadow, a magical shadow down there.
And then can I also maybe roll a Knowledge Planes? I got a 14.
That kind of magical darkness, it might be near a gateway to the shadow plane. You would know that the denizens of the shadow plane are enemies of the undead, so the Church of Urgathoa is not fond of the shadow plane in general, but that a lot of criminal enterprises do use the shadow plane to transport stuff.
Alright, well, should we shout down there? Bernie!
There's no reply. Bernie can't hear you.
Shouting Bernie into a...
He's been gone for 30 minutes, so he's so far away he can't hear you guys yelling. And there is no echo. The sound doesn't bounce back or anything. The sound, just like the light, vanishes when it goes down the hole.
I got shit, boys. Sort of throwing some rope down there and crawling down. I ain't got jack shit that'll help.
I'm going to go down. I'm someone who knows holes in darkness, and this is the wrong kind of holes in darkness. Let's not fucking get in that.
We're talking to a guy who gets Hole Aficionado magazine, and he's like, no, this is not in the top 10 caves and holes. This is not a destination that we should seek out. It's not been recommended by any guides. He's
How
right.
about our gods? I could pray to Urgathoa for guidance. See what maybe we should do to retrieve our friend, if that's possible. Yeah, it's only a 14.
You get the same vibe from your prayer that you got from your arcane knowledge that whatever is going on down there, Urgathoa wants nothing to do with. It's something dangerous to Urgathoa. Upsetting whoever's down there would be bad.
So the other creepy people are scared by this other creepy shit.
I wouldn't say that Eve 6 is scared, but I think Eve 6 gets the vibe that whatever's down there is antithetical to your religion. You don't want to. It's probably something you want to deal with.
Well, I mean, we can't just fucking leave Bernie. I'm gonna tie some rope off and shot of whiskey, fucking huck it down the hole.
In true Cain Clean fashion, because Cain Clean was a hero that became a god because of his drinking and his adventures. So you take a shot and go on an adventure. It's a great attitude to take. That's how you become legendary.
Yeah, no,
Just go for it.
I'm gonna throw
So you
my
start like
rope down
spelunking
there.
down the hole. You put your hair up in a ponytail, start spelunking, and almost immediately vanish like feet into the hole. All of a sudden you can't see Kay anymore. You see
What
the
do
rope.
I see
The rope
there?
vanishes like 3 feet down. Total darkness surrounds you, Kay.
What do we want to do? Do we want to sit up here at the top of the hole and wait? Or should we follow?
I said, I'm just staying up here, man.
We'll stand up here as well.
Meanwhile, down in the hole, Bernie, you're way ahead of Kay Spachimin. You're traveling way faster than Kay is. So it'll probably be a while for Kay can join you. But you're down there. You've actually made it through the threshold. You've made it onto the shadow plane. So you're now in a dark stillness. There are static, like white particles in the air, but everything else around it's super dark. There are black, stony, small buildings, sort of in a circle around this area. In the center of the area that you're coming down into, there are several statues and small figurines and toys, like sort of piled up. And in the center of the pile is a young dragon, large, about the size of maybe an elephant. Shadow umbral dragon, something you've heard about in your stories. You're a gnome, so you've heard plenty of stories about umbral dragons. So you're familiar with this. If you want to roll to know more, you can. That could be knowledge planes, knowledge nature, knowledge arcana. Each one would tell you something different about the dragon. Planes is probably the best one. It'll cover the most information from your perspective as a gnome that's about plane hopping, because you're a door lord.
21 on planes, and I'm going to do Arcana as well.
That's fine, I'll tell you both.
A 15 on Arcana.
So, your planar knowledge, there are several types of beings that guard doors to the shadow plane, which you've just crossed through. Obviously, you went from the material plane into the shadow plane, and usually that's very hard to do without some kind of shadow magic. Usually you have to have a specific spell to do that. So there are very few places in the world where the fabric between those two places is weak. You just found it. As a door lord, you just found a crack in a door. You found an open door. And you also know that it's either these kind of dragons or other dark demon spirits that guard these locations. So this dragon's obviously guarding this location, and he's surrounded by these small buildings. You'll see humanoids walking around. You know enough from Chasnoff's stories to know those are shadow people, also called fetchlings or Kayal. And you know also, as a door lord, the shadow world allows fast travel between many points. because you can travel between shadow to shadow. So any place there isn't a shadow doesn't exist on the shadow plane. So as a door lord, that might interest you, as like shadows are a fast way to travel. So that might already be like piquing your interest. Otherwise, you're just coming down to a dragon. You don't know much about shadow dragons magic-wise, but you do know that they do have power. This one seems young, so it's probably not very strong magic-wise as compared to older dragons. And what a great time to meet a dragon when it's young and not as strong. A bigger dragon would probably create a sense of fear in you that you would feel the need to flee. This one is so small, it doesn't. It's only the size of an elephant, even though you're imp-sized. Not as frightening. Still, a dark dragon, sort of like hyena-bodied with wings, long neck, scaly, but slick black scales, and a sort of black smoke coming off of its skin. You know that it does have some magic power and that it does devour the undead. They'll eat live things and undead things. They don't like devouring dead flesh. They prefer living flesh, and then most of all, the undead. Spirits, zombies, ghouls, anything that has the last remaining spark of life. They love to devour that. They eat souls. Given your recent mission from your demon god, maybe that's useful. And no matter what, you're flying down to it right now. You're coming closer and closer. You see a big elephant-sized dragon sleeping on a pile of toys, basically. A stuffed animal collection and statue collection. He's got sleeping on his figurines.
I am going to turn invisible.
You do that, but I'll roll a perception check. So roll me a stealth plus 15, I believe.
It would be 29 total.
Alright, I rolled a 16 plus 17 perception, which is higher, 33. So he's still gonna spot you. You're invisible, but this dragon still looks like straight up at where you are invisibly. You can tell this dragon like smells you, senses you, something.
I'll continue towards the closest building.
All the buildings seem to be in a circular formation around the edge of this territory. So like as far away from the dragon as possible, like right on the edge, until after that becomes like nothingness around it. But they're like right on the edge of these black stone buildings.
Okay, just as is my like regular thing, so I'll go to the closest building to me, and I will touch the doorknob.
There are no doorknobs, they're just open, like I said, they're made of stone, so it's just like walls, roof, open door, no windows.
Oh.
You can touch the door frame, and that's still good enough for your magic.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll
You can memorize a door frame.
I will touch the door frame then, and
the dragon's eyes follow you down, like you've sort of like floated to the side, but the dragon's eyes have followed you over there. And he huffs. You see like black smoke come out of his nose towards you. And as it comes towards you, you can tell it sort of like forms around you in the way that like you're invisible. And so like the area where you are, the smoke doesn't cover. So it obviously blows your cover when he blows this black ring of smoke towards you. Like there's a shape of your little imp body now.
I'll talk to the dragon and I'll say, I apologize, I did not realize where I was going. I did not mean to interrupt.
Reveal yourself.
I uninvisible myself.
Please, fetchlings, serve this imp some wine.
I grab a glass of wine and I enjoy myself.
The dragon has many servants. The servants have skin that ranges from white to black and grays in betweens, but all the servants have glowing eyes, tattoos on their skin, dark robes. They bring you whatever you want. You want food, you want wine, you want a massage, you got it, all your needs are met here. This dragon's being very nice to you, and almost immediately inquires, who is your demon lord? To what do we owe this pleasure?
My demon lord is Dudicon.
Dudicon, I'm familiar with Dudicon's work.
My impish curiosity brought me down this hall.
My family, the Soul Shredder clan, will work in concert with your demon lord for the rewards promised. If you have an offering to give or a request to make, please go ahead.
Before I request anything, I still have my formalities. What is your name?
They call me Gloomio, youngest of the Soul Shredder clan, Dark Lord of all you survey.
I was just in talks with Dudicon, and I have to disperse a traveler called Eve 6 that is with me. My task from Dudicon is to kill her.
My services are for hire. Do you come with a gift?
Right now I'm just poor and working my way up. I'm an up and coming it. I'll do a little fancy bow to the guy, and then a hardcore thumbs up.
You're looking for anything that travels through our shadow network?
What wares do you happen to have?
Diplomacy.
I roll a 14.
The shadow network moves all kinds of goods from one shadow port to the next. As you may know, magical goods are discouraged to be traded, at least among East and West Linea in many of their territories. So we move a lot of those goods through the Shadow Network.
Nice.
If you're looking for magical goods, this is the way to get them. Scrolls, magical items, anything illegal that can be used only a very few times.
Before I was...
You want a wand with 5 charges? We got you. You want a scroll? We can get that for you. You want drugs? We can transport drugs to this. Basically, if you want to get something from one part of the world to another without being hassled, this is the way to do it. These are the people that do it. If you want to use it, it's here for your disposal as long as you have an offering or have some way to contribute.
I appreciate your hospitality while I'm down here, and I would like to give you the highest imp and act of solidarity, and I put out I want to fist bump the dragon.
The dragon leans forward to smell your fist. He holds out his paw beneath your fist as if he wants you to drop something into it. I would say earlier you rolled a pretty high knowledge roll for planes. Umbral dragons are really into collectibles. Things like art, sculpture. Like this one seems to be really into collectible figurines. He's got a bunch of Funko Pops down here and stuff like that. Like he's really into...
Okay.
He's into like never removed from box toys.
I mean, I obviously don't have any of that, but I'll drop 50 gold in his paw and be like, I'll be back with...
It's still something. It's a tribute.
premise.
Like you can tell, you get a very mob vibe. So yeah, giving 50 gold is still something. It gives you like buying your way in this family. It makes you seem serious. Makes them not want to hurt you. You can leave unscathed after the 50 gold tribute. You start flying back upwards.
I'll tell him that I'll be back.
It's gonna take you at least like half an hour to fly back up. In the meantime, Case Bachim was climbing down, and after you left, Case Bachim kept climbing because Kay doesn't know you left. And then yeah, but they don't see each other because it's magical darkness, and they have to travel through a shadow portal. So unbeknownst to each other, you pass each other. Case Bachim, how much rope did you have? At some point, your rope runs out, and you either have to let go or climb back up. You can't see the bottom, but you can just go for it, like free fall, and see what happens, or you can climb back up.
If nobody let me any of their rope, I guess I would climb back up. I don't
give
think
up.
I'd just let go.
All right.
In a giant
So it
hole.
takes you a while. You keep climbing up. Bernie will get above ground before you because he can fly, and you're just climbing. Bernie will arrive above ground where Nim Nim
The hole, I'll be like, where the fuck is Kay?
and you'll see John taking a nap. Kay is gone, so either you have to go back down for Kay or wait for Kay to come back
down
up.
after you.
If you guys wait
What
for
happened
that.
down there?
I mean, the bottom.
That's comedy right there, folks. You can sense motive that, because that's definitely a bluff of some sort. He's not lying, but he's definitely not saying everything.
Yeah, no, it's only a 13.
15.
I will believe you, but I will say, man, that must have been a really deep hole because, from my perceptions,
You were gone at
seemed
least an hour.
There was something that had to do with the the dark realm. I sent lights down there, and they just zapped out immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, that hole is crazy. It is deep as shit.
I was gonna say, you didn't see Kay on the way back?
I wasn't looking for him because I didn't think any of you guys would like be crazy enough to go down in that hole because it's so deep and it's super dark. More or less, there's nothing that we need in that hole. We should just move on.
All right, let's cover it up then.
It's a really
It's
big
super
hole. It's really wide across. You need a lot of dirt to throw it in.
I'll pray to my deity. Maybe we can send a nice little, meteor down just to, cover it up real quick.
Oh, man. If only your god controlled meteors.
Yeah.
Kay Tsuchima can return also, so it just takes a while, and Kay comes back. John's still asleep. Kay climbs back up the rope.
Yeah, Kay, how was it down there, buddy?
It is dark.
Yeah? Alright.
It is dark. I didn't see shit.
You didn't smell anything? You didn't feel anything? Like any kind of tug one way or another?
Nope. I didn't hear anything. I had a feeling it goes way deeper than I could have got.
It's very deep. It's fucking dark down there. There's nothing you really need to see.
Nope, sense motive. That's straight up lying. 23.
Roll a bluff.
It did not beat that.
So you can suspect that Bernie's hiding something for sure.
There is something down there that is of interest, so everyone knows that now. You're welcome.
I don't want to fuck with the creepy hole. I don't care what's down there. There's other shit to do in this life other than fuck with creepy holes. That's my take.
Everyone's got their own kink, though, so I mean, if you want to fuck with a creepy hole, that's your own business.
Okay.
Put a pin in the hole, and we can move on to something else if you guys want to.
You put a pin in there, it's going to disappear for an hour.
No, I'm saying put a pin on the idea of the hole.
Until then, you guys are on the edge of this hole now. John and his rat are still asleep, but the rest of you have been reunited, middle of the night next to a hole.
Classic scenario.
I go over and try to kick John.
He kicks back, but nah, and he's not waking up.
perception check to see if there's a road nearby that maybe we could take to the closest town? Do you guys want to get out of here and find something else to do?
I mean, you guys followed the road here. The edge of the road is a little bit off, like in the distance from here, but you guys, the road is on the edge of the wood, and you guys followed it here. You can go back to the road if you want to.
Before we leave, I'll be like, yeah, like, there's nothing we need from this hole.
I will call you a straight-up liar to your face.
It's just dark down there.
Another sense motive.
That's not a lie, though.
No, it's not just dark down there. There's more yeah.
No, I was just talking about
it's a technicality.
I was just talking about the light. It's dark down there.
You said it's just dark down there.
You're already suspicious. These are semantic arguments.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably pretty obvious right now. You're lying. Eve 6 knows it. Where do you go from here? Do you sleep next to a hole or move on?
Let's do a knowledge local roll to see if there's anywhere else for us to go on this island. 20, but not natural.
I rolled a 17 plus...
I got a nat 1. I don't know shit.
I rolled an unnatural 20.
It sounds like at least a couple of you have some good information. Maybe from your recent drinking at local taverns, etc. The only city by scale, by size, and by number of people is this Pleasurot. There is a small tribe, a fishing tribe with a little village on the northeast edge of the continent through the mountains. And there are also mountains that are rumored to have orcs and a former dwarf village inside, although the dwarves are rumored to have abandoned that village. Unless you want to leave this island, that's all that's here is that.
I vote we go to Pleasurot.
Yeah, that's probably the best idea. I assume they will have some...
That's the closest thing. That's where you guys came from, but if you guys think you got rid of the person that can finger you for murder, then there's not really a problem with going back there.
Yeah.
Fishing village.
Fishing village, I think, is probably the best bet.
Fishing village? Yeah, we're gonna go fishing, right? I'm gonna transform myself into a giant spider, cover John in a web, so you can throw him on my back, so you can bring him along.
So we're gonna wrap him and the rat up in his, like...
He's been webbed. He's been webbed. He's in, like, what's that thing that you put, like, newborns in?
Papoose!
No, shit, what are they called?
It's a papoose. Come on, let's move along.
Yeah, so he's in a papoose.
Not sling?
Well, there's a brand name for it. God damn it.
Well, then we don't care about that. The sleeping people on your spider back and make our way towards Pleasurot.
They've been webbed.
It's a baby.
Well, no, they're in a web, so they're kind of...
Bjorn, yeah.
It's a baby Bjorn.
Oh, Bjorn, yeah. So, like, I made a web Bjorn, and we can throw him on my back while we drop.
Even as a giant spider, roll me a strength check just to pull him along with your strength, just because that's... might be difficult.
Understandable. It is a 12 plus my strength is dog shit. It's a 12. It's a 12.
12 even. So I feel like
Yeah.
you're struggling. I'm gonna say you can carry them, but it's like you're dragging a body behind you for sure. You're like butts on the ground. It's like not pretty. You're not easily carrying this body. You still have gnome strength in this or imp strength in this spider body. The body's dragging. It's not. You guys are moving slow because this body's being dragged. You guys are probably moving at half speed because of this. But you guys can head east back towards the city. You guys can see the city even from here because there's a wall around. It's there's nothing else in this area. So all light that's not starlight is comes from that area. Not a problem. It's going to take you a couple hours, but you can get there.
We're going fishing village.
To get to the fishing village, you have to go back past the city. You can head back down the road. You're going to pass the fire that you started. So there's a bunch of burned down grassland now near the road. But the fire went out near the road because it couldn't. The road's all like sand, so it couldn't cross the road.
Traverse through the woods ahead and try and stay out of sight.
You can if you want to risk encountering spiders, or you can stay on the road.
We'd be a lot better off just going to a city, guys, where we can get some maybe work.
You can also go near the city and just go around it if you want to, not go through the city, but go around it to get to the mountains. That's fine too. If you just want to avoid
worried about going
people.
back to the city where we murdered someone.
Well, I don't know. Is that going to be that big of a deal if we
Yeah,
murdered
you guys
someone?
can local knowledge, geography can get you guys an idea of the area.
Let's go to the fishing village. Yeah, let's go through the mountains. That sounds like fun.
Yeah.
I vote we don't go through the mountains if we can avoid them.
You have to go through the mountains to get to the fishing village.
I rolled a knowledge local. I got a nat 20, and I get a +6 on that.
You don't know that you're wanted, and you don't even suspect that you are. You think you probably did get away with what you did. But if you don't want to risk it, you could easily go... There's a wall around the city. You could easily just follow the wall around it and get to the other side. You don't have to go through the city. It won't take that much time off of your trip.
I think she should stick to the city wall, just move around.
Yeah, I vote
Hug the wall. Like if you're gonna go to the wild, the closer to the city wall, the less likely you are to encounter something because it's closer to the city. That is wise.
While I am a giant spider, can I still turn invisible?
You'll be
So
invisible,
I'm
but the
gonna be like,
things you're carrying are not invisible. So the 2 sacks of web of John and the
I'm
rat.
gonna be like Wonder Woman's plane right now.
Nah,
where
nah.
You see the thing just on my back.
You guys will hug the city wall. The guards on the wall might see you and say something, but they're not going to attack you because you're not doing anything. You're just not going into the city. And most of the guards are stationed near the gates. So once you go around the gate, you kind of avoid. They yell at you for a little bit, then you guys just go north around it. No one cares. When you pass through north, you pass near the stables, and you pass near I don't know if you call it a pig farm. But it's definitely a pig enclosure where people have a lot of pigs. A pig sty. There's a lot of pigs stationed there, a large number of pigs.
They're working pigs.
Bunch of pigs, and the stables where horses and stuff are. You pass that. You go around the north part of the town. Along the Great Wall, you see a lot of tall houses over the wall. As you pass along the north wall, you see also a graveyard that seems mostly full of animal tombstones, animal statues, tributes to dead animals and stuff. As you pass through, because it looks like an animal graveyard north of town.
Do I see any cemetery?
Yeah.
Do I see any rat statuettes?
Only 4 as you pass through, so not a whole bunch compared to the number of animals. There are at least 4 pet rat statuettes or tombstones without a statuette that are obviously a rat. 3 of them are statues of rats. One of them's a tombstone that's obviously to a rat.
How big are these statues?
The size of a normal rat, but made of stone or metal.
I'd take one of them.
Desecration.
You're gonna hop into the cemetery and grave.
Well, you guys are going to pass through the cemetery anyway, which I would also say Eve 6, great time for you if you want to, Urgatho and Vibe. If you wanted to raise some dead animals here, you definitely could.
I would like to take the other rat statue.
I guess I'll kneel down and pray to the Pallid Princess and ask Cersei for guidance as well and say, my friends are trying to rob these animal graves. If you could help us raise them, perhaps we could keep their graves unmolested.
With your song, they will follow you. Roll me a perform check, and however high you roll will determine how many undead you raise. They're tinier and easier to control than humanoid undead, so...
It's going to be a 15.
That means 6 undead animals, small in variety, so small cat, dog, lizard, regular pet size, nothing big.
I'd rather make a rat swarm.
You want to raise 6 undead rats?
Yeah.
You have 6 undead rats in various state of decomposition. Most of them are towards the lower side, so mostly bone. 6 undead rats now following you as long as you continue playing your song or singing or whatever it is you do to entice the undead.
Yeah, I play the skeletal.
Mostly skeletal. They're behind you right now, and you guys keep walking through this graveyard to the east side of the city, where you guys will roll me a perception check when you make it around the northern part of the wall.
Got a 15.
Got an 11.
19 plus 6, so 25.
Not so much Nim before everybody else, but everyone else is gonna you're gonna walk around the corner of this big wall and see some very large cages containing, I wouldn't say armies of zombies, but definitely gangs of zombies. So it's a zombie zoo, probably undead locals, all in various states of decomposition, depending on how long they've been dead, but all in these same cages. Around them are machines you can place credits into, gold, you put gold coins in them to feed the zombies, some zombie pellets if you want. They advise you not to pet the zombies or get your hands too close. You guys are stumbled upon a zombie zoo. There are several large cages to the size to hold gorillas or humans, holding at least 100 zombies as you guys round the corner.
Well, I can help out here, guys, if you want. I could try to, if we want to spring some zombies, we could have some people follow us around, or if you guys want to do something else with the zombies.
I'm not entirely comfortable having a bunch of zombies.
You already got your rats going, man.
Okay, yeah, we only got 6 tiny rats, and we're about to go into an unknown mountain stronghold. So, you guys decide what you want to do.
I don't think I'm going to get a peaceful sleep with a bunch of free zombies roaming around at night.
Alright, well, this is my strong point, so if you guys don't want to utilize it, that's all well and good. So,
very much so.
You guys pass the zombie zoo and head towards the mountains. Once you guys pass the zombie zoo, there's a road that comes from the city leading towards the mountains. If you guys want to go towards the road and follow that towards an opening in the caves.
Probably. Can we do a knowledge local? Do the caves lead through the mountains, or?
You can do a knowledge local to know.
I rolled a 2 on knowledge local, so never mind that.
I got a dirty 20 on knowledge local.
So it sounds like, Case Bachiman, you'll know that the path does lead through the mountains. There's a river in the middle you have to cross. And this is also Orc territory, so you have to pass through Orc territory to get through the mountains. But yes, there's a pathway through. Your grandparents owned a portion of this island. This is like real estate for you. So you've seen the plans. You've seen the blueprints.
The schematics.
You know what's going on here. You've seen the maps. This mountain does come from one side. There's a path that goes from one side to the other, but you are going to pass through Orc territory, and you do have to cross a river.
But it's definitely faster than just straight climbing over the mountain.
Definitely
right?
faster than climbing the mountains, and there are trade groups that come from that fishing village you heard of about in the east. So they've built bridges and stuff, so obviously there's a way to get through, and definitely way easier than climbing mountains.
I said we risk it, but I'm putting it up to a group vote.
So you guys can see a cave.
I'm just gonna detect magic.
You don't detect any magic on the cave. I mean, there might be magic in the cave, but you don't detect any in your immediate radius, no.
Can I, with my invisible spider, I'll go inside the cave, just the mouth, not far.
Yeah, roll me a perception check to snoop around.
And detect magic.
Yeah, sure, yeah. Roll me a perception check to do all that.
On natural 20.
So you kind of snoop around the entrance to the cave. There's been some human interaction. There's a path built through. You definitely sense strong magic within the cave when you're on the edge.
I'm gonna go back to the group and I say we gotta check out this cave. I feel some strong magic in my bones.
You guys want to go in this strong magic cave?
I don't give a shit. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, we're all really strong. Let's go ahead and do that.
Why are we just constantly creepy holes? I'm gonna get back with the undead rats.
Undead rats first, then me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
I will allow the rats to go in first. If only we had more disposable things to work with, but...
That could kill us.
Until it relies on Eve 6 continually playing a song, which Eve 6 you can't stop currently, you have to keep playing. It's getting annoying, but that's the only way you get the rats to follow you. You keep doing the same song.
Well, I think Bernie and I charged right in.
We'll follow.
So I'm going to, on Spiderfy and leave John and the rat at the base of the cave. And then I'm going to fly in the air. I'm not on the ground. I'm just seeing what's going on.
Yeah. You guys get into the cave. It's dark. Okay, you can't see, but everyone else can. You guys are in a dark cave. If you light a torch, you can see also there, okay, once you walk in. Do you want to light a torch?
Yeah.
You will see that what appears to be very planned out pathways in the cave. Like bridges made of stone. Somehow the stone has been shaped into perfect roads and bridges, although there's a lot of crude rock and other elements around. The roads seem perfect. Besides the path that you're on, it seems like wild mountain, this, rough rock and shit like that. Dense caves of dark rock. But there's a very clear path in front of you that leads straight ahead, to the left or to the right.
Well, let's not split up. That sounds like a bad idea. Do we want to flip a coin or... Ooh, shit.
Or you could do knowledge.
I got dungeoneering.
Once a week I can do augury.
Sort of ask a yes or no question. It's sort of like Magic 8-balling it, yeah.
Should we take the right or left path?
Go back the way you came.
Alright, I'm rolling dungeoneering.
Chaos!
That's a 21.
You can tell by the way that they're worn that the most traveled path is straight ahead. The least traveled path is to your right, and medium traveled is to your left.
Let's go straight ahead then. It could be straight ahead to Orcs, or straight ahead the most commonly traveled path.
If you guys want to follow Kay's advice, you can go straight.
Can we get Bernie to fly over one of the left or right paths to see if it might give us a way to go around? Because a well-traveled path, if we know this is Orc territory, in my opinion, would think that we're going to lead ourselves into an Orc den. If we would like to find a way around them or a way to sneak up on them, it might be best for us to go to the left or the right.
I'm going to turn invisible and go down the path.
You can do that, roll a perception check, and then you can report back with what you see.
A 9.
You don't see very much. The path leads forward. So there's some rocks here, rocks there. So it looks like a bridge that leads over a deep pit and a chasm. And you hear the sound of water. You can report that back, but you don't see anything of significance. You don't see orcs. You don't see a way in or out. You flew just a short distance ahead. You didn't see anything of significance.
I'll go back to where I started, and I'll go down the left path, and I'm going to do the same thing.
Go for it.
That one I have a 25 perception.
Oh, that one you'll spot some orcs in the distance on patrol.
I'll go back to where we are. I'll let them know there's orcs in here, and we should get the fuck out of here and come back later. I'll go down the right and do the same deal.
You fly pretty fast,
That's
so...
23.
Don't see a whole lot, but you do see some creepy, pale white small creatures hanging out near a large door.
Alright, I'm gonna go back and I'll be like, we need to go down the right path.
You want creepy creatures instead of there was nothing down the center.
You don't know that! He can just lie to you about that. That's you guys, if you want to sense motive about what he says, you can do that, but he can tell you whatever he wants.
I'll go deeper in the right path myself before I return.
Roll me a perception check to check out the door.
Perception is at 22, and knowledge, can I detect magic?
You can detect
And
magic
roll
and
a knowledge?
history, maybe?
I rolled a nat 20.
Oh, you can know whatever you want. Has a door of dwarven make, and with a natural 20, you recognize it immediately from Chasnov's stories. You know immediately where you are on this island. You've heard the stories of this area before. There was once a dwarven kingdom on this mountain. They got wiped out by vampires. There's orcs in these mountains. You'll know this is where a lot of things happened prior to Chasnov's adventures to the group that Chasnov joined. A lot of stories about this part are very vague and things he's heard. So whereas a lot of the Chasnov stories have a lot of details where Chasnov won the fight and very specific details about how Chasnov did a lot of really cool stuff. The stories about this are very vague.
Do I know what's behind the door?
Legend says there was once a lot of riches behind the door, but most of that's been cleaned out. The Chimman family wiped out a lot of the riches. There's not a whole lot of riches there. Still a lot of nice stonework maybe, but all the gems are gone. All the gold is gone. So apart from nice stonework and pre-built architecture.
Can I roll a perception to see if there's any awesome figurines in the room?
I'm also going to do the same, just where I'm at.
23 on perception.
Do you open the door?
Yes.
Okay.
Roll for initiative. As you do see plenty of statues, maybe not figurines, but statues, really well-made statues that you know that dragon would like. But as you open the door, you are beset upon by a number of what look like halfling or gnomish vampiric creatures.
Can we roll perception to see if we hear that door opening and maybe give us an idea that maybe we should head that way?
Sure, it's a pretty large door, so maybe you're going to hear that.
I got a 17 on my last one.
My initiative is 13 plus whatever it's going to be.
I got 23 on perception.
I got 15.
I mean, it sounds like you all know you should head that way.
16 all day. Oh, 17 all day, sorry.
Luckily for you, I rolled very low. So as you open the door, it's very startling for whatever's inside. But thanks to your dark vision, as soon as the door opens, you see figures moving inside of this cavern. At least 50 tiny, creepy wall crawler, very thin, golem body, emaciated, creepy figures crawling along the walls and hissing at you with big black eyes, coming your direction.
I'm going to close the door and go back and get my buddies.
I assume you do this in a hurry. Should we say you're running?
I'm flying.
You're as fast as you can, though.
Yeah.
So, zipping back as fast as they can comes Bernie after you guys has heard this loud noise, a big loud creaking door open and close, slams. You probably even heard it slam shut just now. It was probably closed very fast. And you probably even heard the screeching of whatever was inside. And you know Bernie has disturbed it as Bernie comes flying back to this group.
I vote middle path. I have a feeling it's probably the fastest that we can get the fuck out of here.
I vote we fucking get out of here. We fucking
Do you want to
That's 2 votes.
There's
other climb the mountain? It's cold, bitch.
Wait.
We don't.
Where are the boats right now?
There's 2 other ways for us to go besides to the right. I vote we find a way to plug the door and kill the couple of little whatever pale things that were outside of it.
I hear you there, and you seem pretty scary yourself. But me personally, we're heading a direction. There's other. You don't have to move forward on this one fucking vector. There's other fucking ways other than through the goddamn tunnel.
You're the guys who chose to go through the mountains. It was not me. I was not on board with this. So I will concede to whatever you guys want to do. How about that?
I'm clearly let's find a less creepy vampiric path. I don't know that.
You guys start hearing a pounding on the door behind you. Loud banging.
I run back towards John.
Who's got bombs? Can you blow up that one pass to the right?
Right. I don't know if it'll work.
Dungeoneering, maybe. If you don't have anything bomb specific.
Or nature? Well, I've definitely got alchemy.
One of those 2 things.
That's a 25.
You think you can take out the bridge to the right with 2 bombs. So as long as whoever's chasing you on foot, you can stop them.
Oh yeah, as long as they're not flying. Let's risk it. I'll chuck a couple of bombs.
2 bombs will disable that bridge. It crumbles. The stone falls into the shadows. You hear it bouncing off other rocks below.
Yeah, so the bridge is gone, but I could personally still get there by
Yeah, you can
flying.
fly. Yeah. Anyone that can fly can still cross.
I think we should stick to our guns and go through the middle route. Plow through this goddamn mountain fast as possible.
To be clear, that's fine. But Nim Nim has already ran back through the directions.
Right.
So if you do that, you're going to leave Nim Nim unless you go back and grab Nim Nim. So split the party or grab Nim Nim before Nim Nim escapes with a reflex save or a C and B to grab him something. Force him to come along.
I'll roll reflex. Try to grab him, I guess, if no one else is going to do it.
Reflex is supposed to be like grab by the shirt. So it won't be like a full-on C and B, but it'll be like enough to like, hey, wait a minute.
13.
Oh,
I'm
so
16.
My CMD is 15.
Bernie and Kay together can sort of get you, but they barely get, like, they've got you by your clothes. They don't really have you. If you want to, like, escape artist out of your shirt or something, you can get away. They've grabbed you by your outfit.
I'm gonna take a swift and yell, "You're fucking coming with us."
You can make that intimidating if you want with an intimidation check.
Yeah, that's only a 3.
You're not intimidated at all. If you want to escape artist out of your shirt or do anything else to get away,
I'll roll intimidate as well. I rolled a 19 plus.
the more intimidating, probably because you're
not much.
slightly over 20, though. I mean, like I said, it's not magic and it's not based against any other number. Well, that's just telling us how intimidating you are.
So I become uninvisible and like fucking jump, like scare the shit out of them to intimidate them.
You try to look hard, sure.
And I flex.
So the imp is pretty intimidating.
I think I just calm down. I just try to speak to them, and I'm like, hey, again, there are 3 paths here. One of them is creepy as fuck. We had to blow up a bridge. Other way, we go around things. We don't have to go through. There's ways to go.
Well, we know for sure that there was orcs to the left, and we just made a big boom boom noise, so we should probably either decide to leave the cave or go straight ahead, or go left and face them.
Leave.
Roll perception checks as you guys decide to leave.
15.
I got 19.
As did I.
Also very high.
Got a 9.
Alright, so Nim was kind of freaking out, not paying attention to what's going on around them. But the rest of you will hear screeching from one direction as a mound of tiny little skinny white emaciated vampiric figures sort of mound up on the edge of the bridge. You just blew up on the other side. They don't seem to be able to fly, but some of them are like definitely like looking to see if they can jump or find someone to get over there. Like jump. You can tell they're like trying to figure out a way to get to where you are by jumping through other rocks or trying to jump the gap. They've sort of like come up against the edge of the bridge right now. From the other direction, you hear echoing throughout the caves, "I love you." Terrifying noises from both directions. So either head forward out of the cave, or head towards the "I love you," or try to jump the gap and jump into the arms of these emaciated, skinny, tiny vampire people.
I'm going to blast some spells. I think I'm gonna cast Expeditious Retreat on all of us, and I think we should just plow through the middle section.
Hold down both L and R and get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Yep. I'll follow you on that.
If everyone agrees to follow, you guys can run as fast as your little feet will carry you. I feel like if you guys are gonna flee, if you're gonna flee that speed, I feel like you can just do a flee. Yeah, I'll let you guys flee out of the cave away from danger, as long as your allies agree to follow you.
I'm in.
Through the exit, away from the "I love you" and the vampires, out to the other side, through this dangerous cave. You've got to make one acrobatics check to get out of here, because there are some places where, just like the bridge you just blew up, there's another bridge that's sort of like been destroyed. So you guys have to make one above 15 acrobatics check to get over this gap. You can fly, you don't have to do that.
Alright,
You're
thank
good.
God, because I rolled a
Before you
5.
fly across, would you take rope that I hope he retrieved earlier and help us across?
Grab the rope and I'll bring it over to the other end.
And I'll hold on to the other end.
I just acrobatics over. I rolled a 26.
Yeah, Nim Nim just leaps over, no problem. But if you guys want to wait for Bernie to tie up a rope and then, like, you know, hand over hand to get across this gap, you can if you don't want to risk it.
I will cast Jump on Eve 9 and me. I believe that ought to give us...
You can use the rope too, as long as you roll an acrobatics across the rope. You can do that as well.
Or you just walk.
I got a 19 for acro.
Yeah, you can make it across the rope.
Actually, with my acro, I got a 19 as well.
Yeah, you guys can walk across the slack line. You made it across a river. Beneath you is rushing water. You made it to the other side, where you're at a cave entrance into another mountain cave. There's more mountains on this side of the river.
Oh, shit. Well, I don't think we have a choice. We ain't jumping back.
Walk into the mountains, roll for initiative.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, God. I rolled
Jesus
7.
Christ. 7 also.
I got a 10.
I got a
I
12.
got a natural 1.
Taken by surprise there, Eve 6. That's probably you all are, as you guys just got across the river, you went through a cave, but as soon as you walk into this cave, you are set upon by a swarm of bats. Hundreds of high-pitched squeaks fill the air as a mass of small carnivorous bats surge forth, all of them hungry for blood.
Can I sacrifice my swarm of... Oh, damn it. We didn't bring the rats with us. Damn it. I forgot about them. That's on me. Oh well. But...
We can argue
fine.
that they got across the...
I'm okay with them being part of this, but I would say they would have the same initiative as Eve 6, which is 1. Unless you roll a reflex save above 15, you're going to take damage. So everyone roll me a reflex save. If you beat 15, you're still going to take damage as half of it.
I did not beat 15.
I got 17.
Got 22.
24.
So if you didn't beat 15, take 5. If you did beat 15, we'll say that's 3, because it's 2.5. We have to round that up. From this bat's swooping down and biting you. This is a bunch of little tiny, hundreds of bats. And they're distracting you because they're all around you and you're like swatting at them and stuff. It's very distracting. And they're wounding you. They're going to cause you to continue to bleed. You'll lose 1 hit point per round after they bite you. So if you've been bitten, you're going to keep bleeding unless you roll a heal check this turn. So for your move this turn, you have to roll a DC 10 heal check or keep bleeding. Unless you have healing magic.
I am going to throw a bomb straight up. Enough to get away from us, but try and get as many fuckers as possible, you know?
It's going to be a loud noise, a hot fire, and a bright flash of light. You're hoping it's going to scare a lot of them away. We'll assume you can hit the ceiling. That's not hard to hit. So roll the damage and roll maybe intimidate after the damage.
5.
Right.
5 damage.
You definitely scar some of the bats in their close proximity. You also knock loose some tiny rock debris. Nothing to hurt anybody, but some little tiny rocks fall down on you guys. There's a bright flash of light all of a sudden for anyone that couldn't see, although I believe one of you was carrying a torch for the one of you that can't see. So that'll scatter the bats for a second, buys you a little bit of space.
I'm going to yell out to everyone really quickly. The air is scary. The ground is safe. And I'm going to fucking burrow.
Trying to do it's like hard stones. They're very hard to dig through.
I'm calling to them to come over, and I'm gonna start digging down.
Roll me a strength check because it's stone and not dirt.
15.
So you do dive down, and there are less bats the closer you are to the ground. But you're pounding your fist into the stone. And you are scratching the stone. You have claws, and you're doing something, but it's definitely not the same as digging. But I will say you have ducked out of the space of the bats. So in this next turn, if I can attack again, you can take a 15 reflex. So you'll take half no matter what, because you're below the bats. If everyone else dropped to their bellies, they would also get bit less. You're just the only one that's done it so far.
When you cast Touch of Frost, I believe it's what it's called. The biggest bunch are the most...
All of them right in front of you. Wherever you point your finger.
Yeah. Wherever I see the biggest bunch of bats in a straight line, that's where I'm shooting at.
Alright, just beat my touch AC. I have a touch AC of 16, actually, not very low.
I got an 18.
Zap straight through a line of the large number of bats.
1d3, sorry. And it's 3.
Out of a 1d3, that's not bad.
I'm going to cast Deep Slumber. Everything within 40 feet of me has to roll a will save.
Alright.
Otherwise, they fall asleep.
That's everyone here, so everyone besides Eve 6 roll this save.
Great.
I got a 16. Looks like Case with Chimman got a 4.
Oh shit, that went well. Yeah.
That's because you're laying face down on the ground.
I didn't do it.
Looks like everyone besides you and Nim Nim falls asleep. Not all the bats, but the bats in an immediate proximity around you also all fall flat to the ground. There's still lots more bats in this cave. And one of you that is still awake has their face to the ground, so you can't tell. Right now, you probably think you're the only one up. Nim Nim is face down also.
But I'm scratching.
Probably 100 to 200 bats just fell to the ground. There's still lots of bats in this cave flying around. If you have dark vision, you can see them. Because of that, I'll say that there's more bats moving into this territory this turn. No one gets bit. Just because most of you are face down. The only one that could get bit would be Eve 6, who just did this big-ass move, so I'm not going to do that.
I'm going to use a panache point to try to keep digging.
With style.
Alright, so it's for acrobatics, climb, escape artist, fly, ride, or swim. Dig is not on here.
Maybe escape artist is what you want to roll.
I had a 1d6 to whatever I roll. So I got a 17.
Okay, so what your basic vibe is right now, if you stay low to the ground, you can avoid getting bit at least most of the way. So if you're willing to crawl towards an exit, either the one you came from or the one ahead of you.
I'm going to move ahead.
Nim Nim starts crawling, so you'll see that Nim Nim's not passed out because he's moving forward. Although it does appear the rest of your allies are passed out. If you want to follow Nim Nim's lead and drop to the ground and crawl, you can, but that will leave your other allies who are passed out behind.
That sounds boring as fuck. So what I'm going to do is cast Enthrall. and start playing the skin flute up to 160 feet from me on any number of creatures. Oh, and it works for an hour or less. And try to catch all
The
that.
skinless skin flute. You haven't got skin for your skin flute yet, have you? It's just a flute. We were going to make a skin
I
flute.
guess you're right, yeah. I guess it is
This is a flute waiting for skin. Skinless skin flute.
So they had to be to 17.
They are enthralled. You have to play with one interruption for one full round. So do roll me one concentration check, which is a wisdom save, to make sure the bats flying around don't distract you.
14.
So it's sort of distracting, but I'm not going to let it fuck you up. So I'll say that maybe I get one attack in while you're doing it, and then after that they're enthralled. Roll me a reflex save to take half for the one attack I get in. If it's 1 if you fail, 0
I
if you
got
succeed.
a 9 on reflex, so I'll probably end up taking that.
You just take the 1 damage, it's not a big bite. If you move right now, the ones closest to you are enthralled and won't attack you.
My sleep should have worn off on everyone because it only lasted for 1 round. So those other bats would wake up, but they would also be enthralled. But all my friends should be awake now.
Tune in next time for more Constant Chronicle Chaos Egg.
This episode of Long Distance Dungeons & Dragons Dinner Theater was sponsored by our fans and friends on Patreon. Donate today. Keep Long Distance Dungeons & Dragons Dinner Theater alive.